This is on Christmas Day, okay? This is in Guiyang, okay? You know,
Yes.
capital of Guizhou there.
Okay.
And they're having a street festival type thing, okay? So you can see they've got stalls set up and all that, okay?
Okay.
And there were various people dressed, kind of doing cosplay dress-up type thing, okay? One woman dressed up as one of her favorite characters from a cartoon, and she dressed up in a Japanese kimono. And this auntie went ballistic on her, you know, the usual.
Wonder why.
You are a traitor to the Chinese.
I wonder why.
Yeah. And got the crowd obviously gathered around. Everyone was like, you know, berating her, and got to a point where she actually took the kimono off and apologized to the crowd.
Wow.
And I just want people to see this, because it's important to realize everybody that values their freedom of expression, okay, in the West, and who protests and goes out and does stuff. You cannot ever support China, because you would not be allowed to do what you do.
No.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So anyway, it's kind of maddening, because if you look in the background, can you see over there?
Yeah.
There are other people dressed up as well.
Uh-huh.
Can you see there's like that couple,
Yeah.
and they're dressed up as like fantasy characters or whatever they
Yeah.
are. But she was singled out because she wore a kimono.
Yeah, you got to be careful in China with anything Japanese.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the problem. This was Christmas Day this year. This was just a few days ago. And it's actually getting worse.
Is it?
It is getting worse.
I think the Japanese stuff, I feel like, has always peaked. It peaked at a certain point. It's just always been bad since then.
But the thing is, there's been a lot of tolerance for like anime cosplay, and
sure.
you know, like it's been pushed with Genshin Impact and all that kind of thing. You know,
but they
it's all
consider that. I mean, that's Chinese, right?
Yes.
So they've really commandeered.
Yeah,
that.
but they still have all the Japanese themed clothing and stuff.
Yeah,
They
right,
go
you're
off
right.
of that, and you see, I saw it myself many times where they'd have like, you know, in the mall they'll have like a Japanese restaurant, they wear kimonos and things, but it's just gotten worse and worse.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think it's going to be devastating when Korea, you know, goes full on, like, we're not going to deal with China anymore, because they've latched on to Korea way more than Japan now.
Yeah.
That's going to be a hard divorce for everyone in pop culture.
It is. Anyway, just to show you again the complete intolerance and the fact that people are forced to, you know, literally take their clothes off and apologize, you know, in public.
What do you got going on here? Some village entertainment?
Here's the thing. Okay, in China, and you can agree with me here, something that's kind of fun to observe is when you go into any small town or village, or even like medium-sized ones, you'll come across like a shopping area, and they usually have some kind of performance set up.
If you have to go to China, and again, I'm starting to get a little more strict on even recommending anyone go there right now, just because of the tensions. But if you have to go to China,
Yeah,
or you can go back in time to when it was okay,
sure.
go to a rural area. And when I say rural, I mean like a city of under 1 million people.
Yeah.
Right. Still very bustling, very populous. And go see what the locals are doing for entertainment. I promise you, it is high quality entertainment in terms of you have never seen anything like
That's right, but be prepared to really have your ears hurt.
Yes.
Anyway, so we thought we'd show you a little bit of one of these performances so you could see what the audience reaction to this performance is. So
Yeah.
let's just watch it.
Yes.
每当雪花纷纷飘落，你是我的晴
I love this little gnome dude.
He's like, I know what. Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant.
Fantastic.
Props to her for keeping her
Yeah.
composure. I don't think I could perform if I had this bizarre-looking man staring at me. You know what I mean? I'd be worried he'd suddenly pounce or something. You know, he's gonna like
does look like he
unsheath
has
claws and like
some tricks up his sleeve, doesn't he? Or
Throw
in
a
that
potion
hat.
on you or something.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh
boy.
my gosh, leave it there. I just
Okay.
want to say, I gotta say,
Yeah.
I used to have this favorite clip of this woman, and it starts exactly the same.
Oh, yeah?
Starts exactly the same.
Oh.
And she turns around, or the camera turns around, and it's a packed crowd, but it's like everyone's 90 plus.
Yeah.
But it's like some techno song. It's
Yeah.
exactly the same as this. So this is like the opposite of that with the same vibe. I prefer this. This gnome
Yes.
guy rules.
Yeah, he does. The little gnome, the gnome nong. Yeah. Anyway,
Play it again. Play it
okay,
again.
well, yeah, let's play it one more time. It bears repeating. You know. Okay, I'll go from the rocket crash.
每当雪花的在飘落，你是我最长的情
That's
话。
Yes.
想起我用你的电话。
that's just
Yeah. It's excellent.
I just love that a lot.
We've seen a very interesting thing happen in America. In Florida, of all places. What do you know?
What is going on here? This is your story.
Well, in Florida, the police arrested 3 men who allegedly stole hundreds of gallons of used cooking oil worth thousands.
This sounds familiar. It sounds
Yes.
a little bit like Digo, yo.
It does. You probably know by now that in China, it's very common for people to take oil out of the grease traps in the sewers and the gutters, and then they repurpose it. They basically take used cooking oil, gross sewer oil, and they boil it up and they add things to it and stuff to make it look new again. And then they use it for street food and they resell it to restaurants and stuff because, you know, cooking oil is expensive in China.
Yeah.
And so if you buy the gutter oil, as it's called, you
Yes.
could buy it at like a very low price. And so many people use it.
Yeah.
So this idea of like taking used cooking oil is very common in China.
I love that this is Florida Man.
It is Florida men,
Florida
but
men.
Florida men. But these are, you know, Chinese nationals that came to Florida
Still
to
Florida Man.
to do it. Yeah, to do this in China.
Doesn't matter
in-
who
in
you
the
are,
US,
you're still a
yeah.
Florida Man.
Yeah, exactly. So Florida police arrested 3 men and charged them with grand theft after they allegedly targeted several restaurants and stole their cooking oil. The Port Orange Police Department said officers worked with DARPRO corporate security specialists on December 16th to track down 3 individuals suspected of stealing cooking oil. The 3 men, police said, were targeting multiple restaurants in the area during overnight hours. The men were seen in a large box truck outfitted with a pump to allegedly support their operation, in which they would back the truck up, roll out the hose, and pump the used cooking oil.
I'm having a hard time thinking as why this even matters, but we talked about this a little bit.
Yeah.
Number one, I suspect that this is probably for diesel fuel.
Yes, because you can. Then they're not going to make gutter oil to sell back to the restaurants here.
No.
You can make diesel fuel, and you know there are other applications that you can use this used cooking oil
Yes.
for,
Yeah.
like for molds and things. So they will be selling it. So they're basically stealing the oil to sell it, to
Yes.
process and sell it.
Yeah.
So. Florida police said on December 16 about 330 gallons were stolen, though it's believed that they may be part of a large organization responsible for thousands of dollars worth of stolen oil in the area. Ultimately, police arrested 49-year-old Ri Lin of St.
Yeah.
John's, Florida, 35-year-old Yixing Chen of wherever, and 42-year-old Leo of Flushing in New York. All 3 men were charged with grand theft.
Oh, that's a big theft.
Yeah, so it's fairly grand.
This
You
is
know.
a grand theft.
Yes, it's grand. You put on your finest
Yes,
clothes and you
yes,
go
yes.
steal those. This is a grand theft, not petty like those other ones.
Interesting. They're all the way from New York or whatever.
Yeah, going all the way
2
there.
of them were Florida men.
Yeah.
Anyway,
One thing that I thought was interesting is police added that Lynn was arrested last year in Flagler County, Florida, for a similar incident.
Now, why
So-
would we cover this? There's a reason we'd cover this, because this
Yeah.
is something you'll see constantly in China. So it was
Yeah.
interesting to see it in the US.
I just found it really interesting that the whole gutter oil,
yeah.
experience has been exported to other countries.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
I never expected it.
No,
Little
that's
taste of home.
Yeah, I
China
know.
was our home.
Yeah, exactly.
China's my home.
Yeah, you gotta wait.
You gotta understand.
Even better. By the way, before he starts, 310.
You gotta add mud. You gotta add water.
What is this? This is like supposed to be a TED Talk, right?
Yeah. I like how everyone's emotional.
You have to try or you die trying.
It's okay.
Wow.
Close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a your breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind worked like